Thank you. Thank you very much. Shalom. I'm going to start in a minute, but before I do start, there's something very important that we need to do. This is such an amazing event, and kudos to the Federation and to this community for coming together the way you've come together. Thank you. We would like very much to convey your message to the state of Israel tonight, the people that are going through the trauma that we'll be discussing in a moment. But I think it would make our people in Israel feel very proud to know that our people and Americans are here tonight rallying in support of the state of Israel. So if you may, if you have signs, if you want to show us what you're here to say, we're going to take some pictures and share it with Jerusalem tonight so that the people of Israel can see you tomorrow morning. Thank you. Absolutely amazing. You should be very, very proud of yourselves tonight. Thank you very much. Thank you. It warms our heart. We appreciate this community, what you stand for, and what you do with the state of Israel every day of the week. And we'll be talking in a minute about what we can do in this situation. But let me just try to describe the situation for you. There were very inspiring speakers tonight that gave you the historic, strategic importance of the state of Israel today. And we remember the significance of our people and everything that we've been through and everything that we have overcome. And it reminds us that this too shall be overcome. Tonight is the Shloshim for our 3 boys that were kidnapped 48 days ago. It has been for all of us, for all of you, certainly for my family, for Israelis, it has been a summer of trauma. It didn't start with this operation. It literally began on the last day of school in mid-June with the kidnapping of 3 of our teenagers, the heart-wrenching 18 days in which we all hoped and prayed and waited and came together like no other time before. Jews from all walks of life all over the world, left and right and young and old, secular and religious, we all came together hoping and praying that Eyal, Naphtali, and Gilad would be found. And then, when we had to face the fact that they were not with us, that was a very difficult moment. But during those 18 days, you should know that Hamas, as had been mentioned by the rabbi, Hamas had been preparing, not for construction, not for the benefit of the people of Gaza, but they were preparing. They already began firing rockets at Israel. They began operationalizing those dangerous tunnels under Israel. And by early July, we had been aware of a massive tunnel under Israel with terrorists in it that was being operated against Israel, and we had to take action to stop them in that tunnel. That was on July 7th, and on that day, Hamas fired 80 rockets into Israel, more than all the rockets fired at Israel in 2013. That was a day when Israel decided, the government of Israel decided that there's no choice. After 3 weeks of hoping, praying, calling on them to stop the fire, 300 rockets later into Israel, that is when we decided to embark on Operation Defensive Edge, Protection Edge. This is a defensive operation aimed at stopping the rocket fire, aimed at stopping the tunnels, aimed at creating peace for Israel that is long-term and sustainable, and now will be aimed at the final demilitarization of Gaza and the disarming of these terror groups. In these 48 days of trauma, we have recorded almost 3,000 rockets that have been fired at Israel. And these rockets have been fired from Gaza, but also from Lebanon, and also from Syria, and also from Sinai, affecting every single community in Israel, from the Golan Heights to the Galilee, all the way down to Eilat. This country, the United States of America, would not allow even one rocket to be fired. Israel's acting on its right to self-defense that is universally recognized. We're doing the best that we can under very, very extreme circumstances to protect, literally, our homes and families. And when I say literally, think about those 31 terror tunnels that have been discovered that were meant to cause mass casualties in Israel by having terrorists enter Israel in those tunnels all at once, simultaneously, at some point in the near future. And this operation has exposed that entire operation, and we are now actively dismantling it. Iron Dome has been an amazing achievement, and we see, even tonight, that the skies of Israel are protected all over the country. Jerusalem was fired at tonight, Iron Dome was there. Tel Aviv was fired at tonight, Iron Dome was there. Beersheba was fired at tonight, Iron Dome was there. We will overcome this, and Iron Dome is a critical part of this effort. We didn't want to be in this situation. Israel has agreed to every ceasefire that has been proposed, every humanitarian lull, even Hamas's lulls, we've agreed to, and guess what? They have violated every single lull and ceasefire, even the lull that they themselves asked for, within an hour. It's not a situation we wanted to be in. We left the Gaza Strip almost 10 years ago. Let's remember that. We left not to return. We left to enable the Palestinians to have a better future. That didn't happen. We didn't want to be in this fight. We have agreed to countless ceasefires. We're willing to engage in ceasefires right now. The problem is Hamas continues to fire. And the problem is, as you've heard repeatedly, and this is documented, videotaped, they're firing from civilian areas in ways that we have seen before, but not at the intensity that we're seeing right now. From mosques, from hospitals, from private homes. We've seen the homes with the kitchen and the bedroom and the rocket room. We've seen manuals in those homes telling families, Palestinian families, how to act when those rockets are fired from their own apartments. It is a tremendous, terrible, horrendous situation, but it will be overcome. This is not a war with the people of Gaza. Israel has embarked on a very intensive humanitarian effort. We are sending in almost 1,000 trucks in 3 weeks of humanitarian supplies to Gaza. My friends, our truck drivers are civilians. They are under fire, but Israel is determined to convey the people of Gaza with humanitarian supplies. When we provide the electricity and Hamas fires at those transmitters, we're sending civilians to fix those transmitters so that the people of Gaza have electricity. This is unprecedented on so many levels. We mourn the loss of every civilian. We mourn the loss of every soldier. And tonight, our hearts and prayers go out to the tens of thousands of soldiers that are operating in Israel's defense in booby-trapped Gaza. And our hearts go out to hundreds of thousands of parents and families that are waiting to hear that their sons and daughters are safe and will emerge from Gaza safely. We mourn the loss of civilians, Israeli and Palestinian, but the responsibility for this tragedy lies squarely on the shoulders of the terror organizations that are using UN schools repeatedly, including today, for places in which they place rockets and places from which they fire. The responsibility for any civilian casualty lies on the shoulders of Hamas that started this fight and refuses to end it. In Jewish tradition, we always looked at darkness with light. We celebrate Tu B'Shvat, which is a celebration of spring in the midst of winter. We celebrate Hanukkah when we light those tiny candles at the shortest and darkest and coldest, in most parts of the world, season of the year. In Jewish tradition, we always look forward. We always look with optimism to the light beyond the darkness, and we do that tonight. And while we're forced to defend ourselves, we also believe in peace. And we know that that peace is a worthy goal that democratic Israel will continue struggling for, and the people of Israel will continue believing in. And together, we will achieve that peace, and together, we will overcome this darkness. And if I can use a little quote from your National Mall in Washington, D.C., this is a quote that was attributed wrongly to Jefferson. The price of liberty is eternal vigilance. And we Jews have been eternally vigilant for 3,000 years, and we will continue, and we will overcome, and we will do it together with you. Thank you very, very much. What an amazing event. What an amazing showing of support for the State of Israel. Thank you all.